Hello, everybody, and welcome to EDU6550 Student Achievement, Accountability, and Standards-Based Instruction. My name is Dr. Richmond, and I will be your professor for this summer term 2. And I want to welcome you all to our course. Those of you who were in my course this past fall for Education Law, welcome back. Those of you brand new to me, hello, here I am. I am Dr. Richmond, and you will see me coming to you in videos like this once a week. You'll also see me in video chats we're going to talk about in a little bit. I want to talk about how this course is broken up. I want to go over each of the weeks with you, all of the assignments with you, and all the places you can find the resources for this class in this opening video. I have put it on YouTube for you, so you have time to go back and see it again. In the past, my students have told me I love your videos because, well, you're yourself, and you can watch them again and again and again to try and catch those things you may have missed the first time I said it. It's kind of like me doing a lecture over and over again. So here is my opening lecture. If you look at the syllabus, you will find two things. Number one, you will find an alternate email address for me where you can contact me if you have any issues with the course. You can also text me at my cell phone. Now, I prefer you text me if you have a problem at first, and my cell number there is on the front page of the syllabus. And that way you put your name in there and say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm in your EDU6550 class. Here's my question. I can call you back or things like that. Because normally I get a lot of spam calls on my phone. I don't answer them. So I want you to realize texting me is probably the best way to get started. Page 1, page 2 are pretty standard stuff for the College of Education here at Florida Southern. But you do have on page 2 the breakdown of the grade. You're going to have 2 exams, a midterm and a final. I'll talk about those in a little bit. That's 40% of your grade. You're going to have another 40% is your field experience assignments, and there are 5 of them. 5. I already spoke about 2 of them in my opening email to you a few weeks ago. I will cover all 5 tonight. Number 3, textbook reading discussion forums. There will be a weekly posting. If you're watching this right now and haven't posted yet for the first week, and it's June 21st where you're sitting, you need to go post right now. Because if you don't, and you're not posting by 11:55 p.m. on June 21st, I have to drop you from the course. Well, I have to report you, and they'll drop you from the course. Don't want that to happen. Please don't do that. Last but not least, participate in data chats, and there will be 4 of those, and I'll talk about that too. Standard course grade scale, the 90 to 100A. Honor code on page 3. William Cecil Golden stuff on page 4. I talk about WCG. When I say that, it's William Cecil Golden. And then on page 4, that continues. Page 5, more standard things. But at the bottom of page 5 is where we start to really get into the meat and potatoes of the course. This is where you'll find the 5 WCG assignments. I'm going to talk about the first 2 because they are the easiest. WCG number 1 is the website tutorial. You may have done this already. That's great. If you have, take a screenshot showing me you can get into that website. Upload it to the portal. This is the only WCG assignment that goes into the portal. Very clear, very easy. Okay. Number 2, WCG assignment number 2, that's the student learning results from the Leadership Standards Inventory. You're going to do the one for this course, and there's a link for you on page 5 to get there. When you are done, you take a screenshot, you upload that into Chalk and Wire. Very simple. Number 1 goes in the portal only. There's a place for it under week 1. Number 2 goes in Chalk and Wire, and I will transfer your grade back to the portal on that piece. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 are a bit more entailed, and I'm going to take some time towards the end of this video talking about the 3 assignments because you're going to want to start on them right now, especially number 4 and number 5, where you have to kind of talk to your administration at your school. It is summertime. I get that. Never had a problem in the 4 years I'm teaching this course of people may access an administrator because there's nothing really to do with students. It's more about planning, and I'll get to that in a little bit. If you continue on to page 7, you'll find the rest of the WCG assignments, number 5. And then over on page 8, it starts with the breakdown of the course. This is an 8-week course, really 7.5 weeks, and I'm going to tell you it flies. Those of you who were with me last fall in law, it seemed like it took some time to get to the end. This one, before you know it, we're going to snap our fingers. It's going to be the beginning of August, and we're going to be done with the course. So please, page 8, last page of the syllabus, Take careful note, each week you have assignments due. They are typically due in two fashions. Number one, your initial discussion post needs to be done by the Sunday of that week. Sorry, I had to think about the date. The Sunday of that week, as we're starting on a Thursday. It's kind of weird. So, except for this week, where you have to have it done by tomorrow night for the college's purposes, in week 2, for example, you have a discussion forum based on data-wise chapters. Sorry, my phone just rang. Chapters 1 and 2 data-wise. I'm sorry, 3 and 4 data-wise in week number 2. You would want to post your initial post by July 1st. Then you'll post your response posts by July 3rd. And I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong date. It is Monday and Wednesday. Monday and Wednesday is when things are due. So that's how the discussion forums are going to work. I'm going to ask you to make sure you do your initial post by Monday of each week. And then you have to respond to 2 of your classmates by Wednesday of each week. More on that in just a moment. So look at the syllabus, look at the breakdown of everything, look at how it's laid out, see when your assignments are due. You'll notice WCG inventory is going to be due during week 2. So that's the week of June 27th to July 3rd. WCG number 2, that's the learning inventory results we just spoke about. That's due during week 3, July 4th through July 10th. Then you've got the bigger assignments coming up, and I'll get to that in a moment, but I wanted you to look at the syllabus and see where it's at. In week 4, you'll have your midterm exam. I will come to you about a week ahead of time with some information about that. I do a lot of essay type questions in this course. I want to see how you think. I give you a time limit. I will give you a lot of details on that right before they come, but be prepared for that piece. The final exam is that last piece, 8.5 to 8.8, and again, very similar, and it tells you in the syllabus what chapters are covered for each one. It also tells you when the data chats are happening, and I have to apologize. The dates are a little bit off, but they had to fit my schedule for the summer, so I'm available to chat with you. You may find some of the dates falling in the wrong week. Not a big deal. They're going to count during that particular week, and you have a choice of when you want to show up. And I'll talk more about that at the end of this video as well. So that's really the syllabus and kind of how it works. You're going to have discussion posts every single week, and you're going to have reading assignment every single week. I will produce a video every week where I'll talk about the content for that week. The only week I don't do that is right now, because there's so much to cover in this first video on the specifics of what you're going to be doing. Next week, I will highlight chapters 1 and 2. I'm going to switch over real quick to the portal page and the main page for our course. And what I want you to realize there is on the left-hand side, you've got all the weeks. You've got the coursework page where you'll find all the assignments to turn in. But on the right-hand side, you've got all those documents you're going to need I just spoke about. There's a chapter outline for the data-wise book. There is a chapter outline for the leverage leadership book. There's a syllabus. There's only one field experience form in this particular course. You only have one form a principal has to sign off on, and you're going to hold that form. You're going to submit that directly to Dr. Hassan. It does not come to me. You'll also find the rubrics on the right-hand side. I've heard from students in the past that Chalk and Wire is not a very user-friendly program as far as trying to find those rubrics. So I've put WCG rubrics 3, 4, and 5 on the right-hand side as well. And the data chat times are there in case you happen to lose them. But I have emailed them a couple times, and they'll be in the email with this initial video welcoming you guys to the course. On the rubrics, there's none for 1 and 2 because you do it or you don't do it. 3, 4, and 5, it's very specific. And what I will do is normally a week or 2 before that assignment's due, I go through the rubric with you and kind of outline what goes into that piece and what you've got to have to get those top ratings of 3 for each one. So that is the main page for the course. Those of you who are with me in the fall, I run the course very similar to that. Those of you in the spring, you'll see it's very, very easy for that to work out and you to kind of get ready to go with this outline of the way the course works. So I'm going to get out of that page and put that away. The next thing I want to talk about with you is the data chats. One of the things I have found in teaching this course is it's all about data, but people are afraid of data. They're afraid of data for 2 reasons. Number 1, they don't understand it. And number 2, they think it's going to be used solely to evaluate them. This course is not about teacher evaluation using data. This course is about using data to drive instruction, how to drive improvement, and how to help teachers help students become successful in various areas. We look at data in a way that's going to help us improve schools, improve student achievement, student performance, and overall school performance. So you'll see on the data chat time thing, there are 4 weeks of data chats. Each week you have a choice. I asked you in your initial email to download the Zoom player. If you have the Zoom player for your computer, that's great, or your iPhone, your Android phone, doesn't matter. Get an account for Zoom. The way the data chat works, for example, the first one is July 7th or July 9th. You have 2 choices. You have to come to one. That's part of your grade. If you don't come to one, you get a 0 for that particular week. There's a second part to it. You're going to write a summary. I'll get back to that in a moment. At 6:55 p.m. on July 7th, I will send an email out to the course, to all of you, with a link. You click on that link, it takes you to Zoom, and you log into the data chat with me. It's kind of cool. I have like a Brady Bunch looking window where I have all of us on the window. I can see your faces, and we have a conversation. Normally, a week ahead of time, I email you a prompt, a sample prompt from the Feely that looks at data. This is that third part of the Feely, the written part. We really go over it, and my students, I just started this last semester with my students, or last time I taught this course, and they loved it because we had a chance to really dive into data. For the first part of the chat, they last about 30 minutes. Zoom gives you a 40-minute time limit, so I do 30 minutes. And the first 15 minutes, I ask you to respond to what you've seen. So you're going to be asked to look at the data ahead of time and bring some notes to talk about during our data chat. I will then, during the last 10, 12 minutes, fill in any gaps that may happen. I'm going to tell you, in doing this course the last time, every data chat, we went pretty much to the wire. The good news for us is the dates that I put there for the data chats each week, I am home. If you talk to some of my students from last term, when I taught it last summer, I did these data chats from, Scotland, Ireland, and Iceland. And the only place with decent internet, believe it or not, Iceland. That's right. Every other country, the internet couldn't compare to ours. But I will be home for this entire one. I'm sorry, I know no journeys on this one, but I'll send you guys a picture when I go to Disney or Universal. I'm going to try and ride Hagrid's ride tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, if there's a 10-hour wait or something like that. But you'll see those data chats. There's 2 each week. You pick the one that works for you. Once we do the data chat, I remind you, you have to write a summary. The summary is basically, number 1, what you learned. Number 2, how you're going to apply it to either your current position as a teacher or your future position as an administrator in a school. It really is an application-based piece, and it's really neat to talk about this data. I have 4 different sets of data. Each time we do one, I will send it to you ahead of time with the weekly welcome. Here's a data set we're going to be looking at during week number 3, 4, 5, and 6. The responses for you guys are not due to the end of the course. I do that for a reason, because I know you're busy. I'm busy. But I want you to not wait to the end. I had some students last time who really waited to the end and forgot what we talked about. So my advice is, we finish that data chat at 7:45. Go do your response right away and submit it and get it out of the way, and don't worry about it. So block out yourself 7 to 8:30 on the night you picked. I made them all at 7 o'clock. They're consistent. The dates are not, though, because of my own schedule. I do work full-time. I'm 12-month in Hillsborough County. Oh, I forgot that stuff. I'm a supervisor in professional development at Hillsborough County Public Schools. I'm sorry, those of you new to me. I'm used to this class being the same group I had in the fall. But I worked for Hillsborough County Public Schools 23 years. I taught middle school science. A lot of my bio is in the syllabus as well and on the main page of the course. But basically, I love education. I love what I do. My doctorate is in ed leadership from University of South Florida. And my major study for my doctorate was law, bullying law specifically, and policy studies. So hence, I love law, but data also ties into this piece, and we're going to have a great time with that. I'll remind you when the chats are coming up. It's not till week 3, July 7th, but hey, today is June 20th in my calendar, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to go by real quick, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get rid of that window, and I'm going to come back to the syllabus one last time, and I want to talk again about the assignments you're going to be doing. I'm going to talk about WCGs 3, 4, and 5, give you a brief overview, and then I'm going to talk, last but not least, about what is due this week and what I expect of you between now and June 26th. So first of all, again, in this course, there are going to be 4 different types of assignments. Assignment number 1 is going to be the 2 exams. There's a midterm and a final. One is in week 4, one is in week 7.5, as I call it. Number 2, the WCG assignments. There are 5 of them. The first one is due next week. That's the inventory. You're going to simply upload it into the portal, a screenshot that you can get into the WCG website. Very simple. The second one, which is due during week 3, is WCG number 2. That's the learning results. You take a screenshot of that page showing me you've done that learning result assessment, and you upload this one in chalk and wire. 1 and 2 are pretty much do it or don't do it. Okay? I'll talk about 3, 4, 5 in a minute. Assignment type number 3, weekly discussion forums. You are required to respond to the questions in the discussion forum each week. That is your initial post. The first week one for this week is due by tomorrow night, June 21st at 11:55 p.m. If you don't post, I have to let the college know to drop you from the course. Every other one is due on Monday. So for example, the second one is due on July 1st. The third week is due on July 8th, and so on and so forth. You will post that. I'd prefer you post sooner, but I understand people are busy. Some of you work during the summer like me. I get it. But I want your colleagues, and there's only, I think, 13 of you as of yesterday when I looked. I want you guys to be able to respond to each other because you have to respond to 2 colleagues. I'd like you to try and mix it up. Don't respond to the same person every week. It's only 6 weeks of response posts, but it really is important to kind of talk about it. Your response post must be 100 words and more than, I like your answer. You might be laughing at me, but I'm going to tell you I've gotten that one before. I'll teach you the same thing I teach my students. I taught 5th grade math science this past spring. Those of you who were with me in the fall, you may not have known this, but we were asked to go back in the classroom to help out for the spring. So I taught at James Elementary School 5th grade math science from January until May 31st. I was there in the morning from 7 to 11 every day, then I went back to my regular job. Amazing experience, really reconnected with what's important and why we do what we do. But that piece is important, and my kids would be really lazy about things. And I'm like, no, you're going to answer more than just, I like your answer. You have to tell me why. Why do you agree with it? And those kinds of things go into your response posts. I do actually do a word count, guys. I do look at it, and after the first week, if you post less than 100 words, I do take points off. It's very simple. That's how it works. The last piece is going to be those discussions, the video discussions. And again, you're going to be online 4 different times. You get a choice each week of 2 days. Mark them in your calendar right now. After you're done with that discussion post with me or online discussion with me, you're going to post in the portal. Each week has a place to post yourself a paragraph or so about what you learned and how you plan to use it either as a teacher, as an administrator, or both. Late work. Good one to come up with at this point. Discussion posts, it'll lock you out. It will lock you out. And if you're having difficulties, please contact me and I can try and help you. But I believe I've laid out the course in a way that's very organized for you and you know when things are due. Please get them in. WCG assignments, because they're going into the chalk and wire for the last 3 of them, you obviously can just submit them late. There's no lockout on there. At least I haven't figured it out yet. But I do subtract points for it being late. And typically what I do is each day late, I take off 5 points of 100, so 5% basically. So you know that in case you're running late on assignments. But you all know when it's due now, and you may submit as early as you like. So that's on late work. Exams, there is no exception there. Please make sure you take your exams on time during that time frame. And again, more about that when we get closer to that piece. So that's that piece. Let me go back now. The last thing I want to discuss with you on this video before I talk about week 1 again is the 3 other assignments. Number 3 is the John Hattie research paper. You're going to research his work on influences and effect sizes related to student achievement, and you're going to write yourself a 5-page research paper. Typed, double-spaced, Times New Roman 12-point is fine. You're going to include resources. You're going to follow APA guidelines. Here's the thing on these assignments, guys. If you get your John Hattie paper done a week early and you want to send it to me, say, hey, Dr. Richmond, can you read it for me? Sure. You send it to me the night before it's due, I don't have time to read it in one night. I'm also on several dissertation committees. In fact, when I'm done with this video, I'm going to read someone's dissertation again because we're meeting tomorrow to talk about it. So that's the kind of thing on that. I'll go over the rubric more when we get to it, but start doing your research on John Hattie's work, a 5-page paper. The rubric, which is on the right side of the portal, has all the details. Number 4, field experience and WCG assignment. This is the one your principal has to sign off on. On this one, you're looking at statewide data from a school-wide assessment, and you're going to use it to complete learning results of the individual, I'm drawing a blank, the IDLP, and I cannot think of what it stands for at this moment. Individualized Development Learning Plan, I think it is. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day. I've been at work since 6:45 this morning. and it's now 7:11. So it's been a long day, I'm sorry, but it's the individual learning plan you're going to do for this is number 4. And then number 5 is the data and assessment proposal. These two are pretty much tied together. They are tied together. Make sure you read very carefully the items in there that you have to do for each of these, and number 4 does have a link for you. They're due towards the end of the course. In fact, WCG number 5 is due in week number 6, and WCG number 4 is due in week number 7. Yes, did you get that? They're in reverse order. You do 1, 2, and 3 in order, but 4 and 5 are reversed. So in week 5, number 3 is due, the John Hattie paper. It's going to help you, by the way, on the last 2 assignments. And week 6, number 5 is due. Week 7, number 4 is due. So I'll come back each week with more information on those. Obviously, this video is already, 20 minutes long. All right, quick wrap up, guys. I didn't realize it was 20 minutes. I'm sorry. You're probably watching this saying, can this guy ever stop talking? My wife just made a comment. Really? You guys are lucky, unlucky. My cats didn't come by yet to visit. They normally come visit during the videos. Maybe they'll come during one of our data chat sessions. But anyway, this week, very simple. Read DataWise chapters 1 and 2. DataWise is a great book, a very, very easy read. You're going to find it probably one of the most useful texts you've ever picked up in any degree you've done. I love that book. I've read it a couple times. You're going to discussion post number 1. You're going to respond to those prompts. First response by tomorrow night, June 21st, 11:55 p.m. Then you're going to respond to your classmates by June 26th, next Wednesday, and have to have 2 responses, 1 to each classmate, 100 words each. That's it for this one. Welcome to the course. I'll see you guys next week for a new video and another update email later on this week.